Welcome back, watch enthusiasts. Today we are diving into the world of watches with a review of the Invicta Speedway 9211. This timepiece has been making waves in the watch community, and we're going to explore every detail to see if it lives up to the hype. Let's dive in. Before we unbox, let's see the box. It comes with a black sleeve which says Invicta Invincible in detail since 1837, and then on the other side we have the same. We'll be able to pull out the sleeve. Once we have pulled out the sleeve, we are greeted with a box which is yellow and has a black tone underneath, and outside again it shows the Invicta emblem. I don't have any grime about this Invicta emblem and it looks pretty cool, and sometimes I feel it's similar to Longine's emblem, but it's not that close, and of course in the price range as well it's not close to the premium brands like Longine's. And again you see the naming and the branding Invincible in detail in the side, and it's good to know that this box is recyclable. And one thing that catches me and gives me a surprise is the way they have textured the top part of the box watch, and it feels more premium than it's supposed to be for such a brand and brand history. It has a good history, and speaking of history, as a brand known for its commitment to quality and innovation, the Invicta has a long story of producing exceptional dive watches that stand the test of time. The Invicta Speedway 9211 carries the same tradition with its water resistance rating of around 200 meters, making it suitable for most of the diving occasions and water activities. Unboxing and opening the watch is pretty simple, and immediately you're greeted with a card that says welcome to the Invicta family. This touch is good, the way that they're welcoming you with a QR code and a little bit of invitation it feels good. Setting it aside, you see the tag which is for the Invicta watch, and you see the code which is 9211, and you see the price as $495, but on Amazon and Invicta stores you can get it well below 100. Probably in Invicta stores you can get it well below like $200 USD, and in Amazon you would be able to get this for around $80-90 at the max. You can see that there is also an Invicta emblem logo inside, and this way of them cutting it and placing it inside feels good. And finally you see the watch itself resting on its pillow, and that too, it's yellow in color, and the pillow has a logo on it, Invicta emblem, and it has on both the sides. And they also give you a Invicta branded microfiber cloth to clean your watches and to remove any dust particles. And other than that, it's empty. It doesn't have anything else. But all in all, the box looks good, and the watch is also protected in a proper way inside the box, and is given enough number of accessories which is expected from any watch brands. The Invicta Speedway 9211 features a durable stainless steel construction and a polished finish on the sides and brushed finish on the top. And this exudes quality and craftsmanship. The attention to detail is evident with this smooth construction and a solid steel. Also, if you look at the wording on the left hand side of the watch, it shows Invicta. I don't feel it is as pretty jarring, and it doesn't take too much presence on the watch. Though it is engraved on the side of the watch, it still doesn't look out of place. Kudos to Invicta to include such a nice highlight. Coming back to case dimensions, the case thickness actually measures around 13 mm, which is a little bit on the bulkier side, but not too bulky compared to the other watches in its section. And when you think about the watch's diameter, my caliper measures around 43.4 including the crown, but if you try to exclude the crown, it is around 39.5 mm. Mine shows 39.3, but there could be an error of 1 or 2 mm, so it is 39.5, and on the website itself it shows 39.5. The lug width on this watch measures around 20 mm and it tapers down to 18 mm. Let's talk about the face of the watch. The dial. The Invicta Speedway Diver 9211 boasts a sleek and stylish design with a clean layout. The luminous hands and markers makes it easy to read in any lighting conditions, whether you are underwater or in a dimly lit room. The thing is that I notice on this watch are the markers, which are a tad less thicker compared to the actual watches like Daytona, which have a little bit of a thicker indices for the loomed markers, giving it a lesser amount of space for the loom to be applied, which is a little bit of an issue compared to any other watches which have similar kind of loom pits. So if they have a much more bigger room, if they can improve the area of the loom for the loom pits, then it would make it much more visible in the night. So that's one improvement I would suggest. But other than that, the dial itself looks clean along with its contoured and textured dial. And one thing to notice if you look closely is those two patterns, they merge with each other and give it a different finish. Actual watch that it's paying homage to, which is the Rolex Daytona, has plain white dial, but here it has a textured finish, and that too with two different textures. The one which is V-shaped in the center, or maybe like a hand fan texture, and the others surrounding it is a different one. So that's a pretty neat finish, and it doesn't make it look bad. Also, it gives it a little bit of a character to the watch. The Invicta Speedway 9211 offers you two buttons for its chronograph functionality. The first one is to start and stop the seconds hand for measuring it, and the last one is the button to reset it and bring it back to 0 once you're done measuring your time lapse or any other chronographic activities. Before you move on to use this chronographic function, you must first unscrew these two crowns, and it's similar to what you see in Rolex Daytona. And once you have unscrewed it, you would be able to depress the button over here to start the chronographic function. And as you can see on this seconds dial or seconds sub dial, you see that the hands move, and as the hands move and it completes one rotation, the minutes hand on the top left also moves to the next index to show that 1 minute had elapsed. Now that it is going to complete, or it has completed one full rotation, you can see that the hand has moved one position from the top on the minutes sub dial, and this continues to move on until you stop this. So press on this button and stop this hand, and if you want it to reset, depress the button below and you will see it does one rotation. Even though it's closer to the 12th hour index, it just goes back and rotates anti-clockwise and it resets itself. On the left side sub dial, you also see that the minutes hand for that sub dial has resetted itself to the position to align itself to the 12th hour mark. So this is how you would use this functionality on this watch. And once you're done using this chronograph functionality, you just screw these buttons back in place like so. If you want to learn more about the chronograph functionality and how to use it in accordance with the tachymeter dial that is shown on the top, and I'll do a new video in the near future. Speaking of buttons on this watch comes with a crown which is screwed on, as you can see, as it is expected for any dive watch. And this screw down crown is protected by the crown guards to help protect it from getting bumped against a table, desk, or a wall, or anything which might hamper its functionality. So that's a good thing, and it does look good on this watch. It is similar to what you would see on any higher end watches, and it's a nice touch. Overall, the VD53B14 is a practical and efficient movement choice for watches that require chronograph functionality and reliable timekeeping at a fraction of price that is offered by other counterparts. Let's talk about bracelet finish, the bracelet and link types. As you can see, it's a 3-link bracelet and it has a female end link, and the links taper down from 20 mm at the top towards the 18 mm at the bottom. And all of those links are solid links, and on the clasp you are given with 4 micro adjustments on this side and 2 micro adjustments on this side. So it is pretty good. And the clasp itself, it is just stamped, and I would have expected it to be milled, but given the price, it's okay. If they have went in with a non-milled kind of this section for this clasp, and we also have a guard for it to stay in place. And on the clasp you see despite its robust construction, the 9211 Speedway remains surprisingly lightweight on the wrist, making it suitable for everyday wear. You will hardly notice it's there and until you need to check the time or use the chronograph feature. And on my mild sized wrist, this watch doesn't look out of place, and the lugs doesn't overhang my wrist too much, and it fits in place. And also its dial size of around 39.5 mm helps it to stay on my wrist without bulging out too much. And I think the same would happen for any shirts that you would wear, since it's around 13.5 mm thick, and it would somewhat slide under your cuffs in a better way rather than pushing the cufflinks out. I wouldn't say this is too much compatible with any kind of fully formal event, but you can consider it as some kind of a contender for some of the formal events. But any dress watches would look better in formal events. But yeah, it's up to you to dress it up and wear it with any of your suits and try it out. Overall, this Invicta watch looks and feels good, and it feels sturdy on my hands, and I would give a good rating, and I love its presence on the wrist. In conclusion, the Invicta Speedway 9211 is a standout timepiece that offers style, functionality, durability at an affordable price point. Whether you are a seasoned watch enthusiast or just dipping your toes into the world of horology, this watch is sure to impress. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe for more reviews and content. And until then, keep on ticking.